Hello, everyone. This is Heidi with Downtown NorCal Live. When we think about small businesses, we'll often think of boutiques or restaurants or even our medical professionals. But today I'm going to be introducing you to a business that we might not like to think about. So here with me are Tess Guyman, or pardon me, did I say that correctly? Guyan and Vera Smith, and they are of Smith Funeral Home in downtown Davis. Hello.
Hello.
So can you just walk through your typical services? I'm not sure everyone knows what a full service funeral home does.
Full service funeral home offers both funeral and memorial services. So that's with or without remains present. We do that here at the chapel. And we also provide services at outside venues where it could be either at a church, a family home, or a community service venue.
And then you also see to the disposition of the remains, is that right?
We do. We do. Both burial and cremation services are offered here at Smith Funeral Home.
Okay. So since the pandemic, we've all had varying guidelines to cope with from the public health department.
Yes.
What has been the timeline and what have been your restrictions and where are you now?
Our timeline has been pretty much the same. That has not changed. At the beginning, our restriction was we were only allowed to have 10 people at a service. That has now increased, but it also depends on where the service is going to be held. So it depends on the size of the venue. It depends, but most places right now are allowing up to 50 people for a service.
Okay. And how has that impacted you? Are some people delaying the ceremonies and such?
Yes, we've had a fair amount of people that have chosen to just go ahead and take care of the burial, and then they will plan to have a memorial service at a later date when they are allowed to have a bigger gathering.
Mm-hmm. You're probably among the people who are closest to those who are grieving a loved one's loss in this time of pandemic when we cannot gather, when we cannot support each other. So what if you could provide voice to those people so that those of us sheltering in place and at home can have a feeling of empathy around them? What would you share?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult. Usually the funeral or the memorial service is really the time of the beginning of the grief process. It's a time where families really need support, and coming together is very helpful for them. This has been difficult for everybody. For some people, expanding that time process out is helpful, but not for many. So I think the impact of that has been really difficult emotionally on people. They haven't been able to travel to be with their families. We are a migrant demographic here. And so for those families who haven't been able to get together to mourn, to grieve, I think the impact has been harder for them than for those families who haven't had a loss. And I don't mean to speak for those who haven't. Maybe they have other circumstances that have made it difficult, but for those who have and they've shared with us that it's just been very difficult, and not just for having the funeral, but not being able just with the nuclear family to be able to gather at all.
Vera, can you tell us why you decided to own a funeral home?
I got interested in the industry when I was actually a teenager and assisted a funeral home in the town where I grew up. And that particular family bought this funeral home in 2005. And I was already licensed in Arizona at the time, and they offered me a position out here. And then when they decided to relocate, they did give me the offer to purchase it from them. So I've been in the industry for 20 years and was fortunate enough to purchase in 2010.
One of the other decisions, to potentially end on a lighter note, you decided to sponsor the Davis Downtown Communal Art Project, and those art submissions are for all ages, all mediums, and or all media, I guess I should say, and everyone's invited to participate to share their experiences around shelter in place. So why did you choose to sponsor that?
I thought this project was a really good start for getting people to start gathering in downtown again and start being able to see the businesses that have survived and opened up and come back down and to visit and see everybody that's here again.
Great. Okay, I have been talking with Tess Guyman and Vera Smith. They are of Smith Funeral Home. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi.
And I'll see you all tomorrow.